bat makes me think of baseball. That is why I, Michael Gerke, am going to prove to you that wooden bats are the best. Wooden bats are better for baseball because they keep tradition alive and they lessen the risk of injury to players. After playing baseball for 12 years and thoroughly researching this subject, I'm going to prove to you that wooden bats are better than aluminum bats. After listening to this speech, I will convince you that wooden bats are the best. First, we need to look at the history of wooden bats. Wooden bats have been around since the beginning of baseball, for over 100 years. Wooden bats were the only type of bat that any baseball player could use up until the 1970s when aluminum bats were introduced. Wooden bats have been made for many things, such as hickory, which was used in the early days, maple and ash, which have recently become popular. Maple just recently became popular when Barry Bonds hit so many home runs in a season with maple. But white ash is still the favorite among all baseball. White ash is favored because of its strength, durability, hardness, and weight. Next, we can look at what makes wood bats better. Wood bats are better because they lessen the risk of injury for players. This chart right here shows that aluminum bats hit further and harder than wooden bats do. When the aluminum bats hit the ball further and harder, they can cause serious injury or serious risk of injury to these players. These charts show the statistics for aluminum bats since the BB core bat was introduced. The BB core bat is a type of aluminum bat that has the same qualities as a wood bat. This shows that since BB core has introduced their bat, the earned run average of a pitcher has gone down significantly. This one shows that strikeouts per 9 innings has stayed about relatively the same. This one shows that the batter's batting average has went down dramatically since BB core was introduced. And this one shows that home runs per game has gone down dramatically since BB core was introduced. This chart shows that aluminum bats have more velocity the further they go than wood bats do. That is why wood bats do not severely injure players as bad as aluminum bats do. Also, we can look at how the cost affects why wooden bats are better. Wooden bats are better for baseball because they cost anywhere from $19 to the lower hundreds, whereas aluminum bats cost anywhere from $25 to $674. Many people can argue that since wood bats break more often than aluminum bats, this would cause you to pay more for wood bats over time than you would for one aluminum bat. In many cases, this is not correct. Also, with a wood bat, you have to focus on the fundamentals. When you focus on the fundamentals, when you use a wooden bat and you focus on the fundamentals, you have to hit the ball in the sweet spot of the wooden bat, which is not as big as the sweet spot on an aluminum bat. This means that with a wood bat, it takes a lot more skill to hit the ball far, whereas with an aluminum bat, since the sweet spot is bigger, you do not have to have as much skill to hit the ball as far. Last, we'll look at the risk that aluminum bats pose to players. Aluminum bats can cause injuries such as broken bones, and they can even cause major head injuries to players because of how hard the ball is hit and how fast and how little reaction time the players get. Also, the trampoline effect can lead to these injuries. The trampoline effect is when the ball indents into the bat and the metal pushes the ball back out. When the ball indents the bat, it loses some of its energy, which is then which then the bat transfers some of its energy by popping the metal out and pushing the ball further, causing it to shoot back harder and faster than a wood bat would. If you want to keep tradition alive and lessen the risk of injury to players, you should keep, then that is why wood bats are the best choice for baseball. When you consider the risk of injury to players by composite bats and the rich history of wooden bats to players to the game of baseball, then that is why wooden bats are the best for the baseball. I believe that this speech has shown you why wooden bats are better for baseball, and why wooden bats are better for baseball. Thank you.